What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be bringing you a video on what I believe is going to be the best ways of building your Diamond Dynasty squad to get a competent squad to be able to compete in ranked seasons. Um, so let's jump right into it. Number one, I think the best, well, there's obviously different ways of building your team, but number one, we're just going to start off straight up with spending some extra money into the game. I personally don't like to use my money into buying stubs. However, if you got the means and don't and know how not to spend beyond your means, by all means, I dropped a lot of means there. Go ahead and do it. It's definitely effective. You're getting stubs right off the bat. One thing I caution for those that are going to drop money into the game is to not spend those stubs on packs and spend those stubs wisely on players that you seem fit for your team. I think packs are a waste of stubs. You don't got very good chances of pulling diamonds on a consistent basis, and you're just throwing away your money at that point. So that being said, if you're going to spend money in the game, do it wisely and do it only on spending for players. All right, next tip is going to be, if you're a person that does not want to spend any money on the game, there is a variety of ways to be able to build your team. I would suggest by starting off, depending on your skill level, if you are a very good player and are confident in your skill level, I'd suggest to jump straight into Battle Royale or BR. Although there is changes and there's going to be a learning curve to it, I think that skill is still going to be an important factor in it, and especially being the fact that the new hitting engine seems, from all the streams, seems to be where there is going to be a skill gap. If you don't feel like you are a player that can win consistently in Battle Royale, there is other means of getting great players and stubs as well. I would suggest to check out the new Showdown, which is now replacing Moments. I believe that's what it's geared towards. There's stub prizes, there's XP prizes, there's player prizes that you can win throughout this showdown. So that's the first thing you should check out. Next is Conquest, of course. Just jump right into Conquest and complete the missions. That's going to get you more XP. That's going to get you stars to the program, which is going to eventually lead to players. What else? You're gonna be able to attain rewards in there too that are player rewards that might be good players. Conquest is definitely a way to go. Definitely a nice way to build up your team. And at the end of the day, you're gonna be making some type of stubs every game you play, and maybe there's extra stub rewards in there as well. Once you've built up a decent amount of stubs, you can always go over to the community market and buy some players that are going to be budget warriors. And I'm going to be putting out a video on the best budget players you can use at the beginning of the year, but some off the top of my head that I can think of are going to be somebody like Joey Gallo, Pete Alonso, maybe the Prospect Series guys. Got to see how those guys turn out after hitting the market with people pulling the packs and whatnot. But definitely Joey Gallo, Pete Alonso are two guys that are going to be budget beasts for sure. I'm trying to think of maybe some other guys right now off the top of my head, but I would have to get the game in my hand. Maybe Jorge Soler. He's not going to have good fielding, but obviously he's going to have good power. Guys to that nature that have good hitting attributes and are not high overall and are gonna end up being budget beasts. But just stay tuned for that video. Anyways, so you can build a pretty good squad by just doing missions, in my opinion, and targeting those. And obviously, if you in BR, if you have, you feel like you're able to go 12-0, or even if you get to 9 wins this year, it's a big difference. You get an 85 to 89 overall card that could help you towards your collections rewards. They're gonna probably mostly Life Series players, or you can sell those cards and make stubs off of it. So it's a pretty big deal now that you can go 9-2 and still end up with a diamond, or yeah, 9-2, because if you get to 9-1 and lose, that's 9-2. So yeah, that's a pretty big deal. So don't feel discouraged if you can't go 12-0. If you can get to those 9 wins, that's a win right there, in my opinion. Especially it's a very early beginning of the year when everybody's trying to build up their collections, and all the diamonds from the collections are going to be way more expensive than they would be later on in the year. And then the last tip that I can give is 2 ways: working the market, flipping cards and whatnot. And that's a very effective way of building up your stubs in order to build your team. It requires patience, but it can be very effective. Another way is investing in cards that you might feel, or that others have put tips out on, that these cards will be going from one tier to another, such as bronze to silver, silver to gold, gold to diamond. Investing in these cards early on, especially before the season starts, is very important and it's a very smart thing to do. Every time you don't want to spend to where you have 0 stubs and are all tied up on these cards, but if you have some extra stubs to spare, and I would suggest start buying them up, and every so often you gain a certain amount of stubs, put some stubs to the side to buy that card, and stock until they eventually go from one tier to the next tier. At that point, you're going to be making a very big profit. The investment takes longer. Flipping is right away. However, they're both very effective ways of building your stub count as much as possible. Let me think of other events. Once they drop, will be another effective way of building up your squad. In events, you can go 12-1 and get a diamond reward along with the event reward as well. Those cards, you can sell them or you can keep them, however you want to do that. So that's another good way to build up your squad at the beginning of the year, although events do take about a week or 2 before they drop. So this is targeted for very beginning, and the 3 ways I mentioned at first are the ways to go. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy the video. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't hit it yet, and make sure you leave a like. If you have any questions in the comment section, leave them in the comment section below, and I get to them as quickly as possible. All right, guys, until next time, peace.